Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in again. If you're new here, hello. I do some art stuff up in here, mainly focused on animals, trying to dip my toe into people. It's an ugly process. Anyways, this one today is another kind of little inking and then watercolor sketchbook spread fill out. I am trying to kind of expand on my little dinosaur story idea that I have going on. So this one is focused on, just a girl and her dino. It's an Allosaurus. There are definitely some things I'm going to talk about that I wish that I had done differently, of course. But there's a lot of things that I actually liked about how this turned out. The initial inking was very ugly to me, but it's like I've just kind of realized as I keep going I like it more and more. So I was mostly unafraid to keep going with this one and make it better, but there were definitely some points where I was like, ugh, ew. It also took me a long time to actually start inking it. I had made the initial sketch a while ago, and then it was like a couple weeks later I finally was like, okay, I had better just ink this thing already, just get it, move on with it. So went ahead and did that. I obviously used just a ton of references because, people, I cannot draw people, so the people in this one is just kind of pitiful. Literally just two people in this one that I end up keeping. Dinosaurs, again, I think with dinosaurs there's a lot of room for, creative sort of looks on them, so I definitely went that route with the Allosaurus. One thing I'm pretty sure I kept messing up on was their little like over the eye crest things. I think that they sit more forward on the face, like the eyes are behind it, so I kept trying to put the eyes in front of it. I had to fix that a couple times. And then the actual little hands, their nails, their fingers are really long and they have really long claws, and I kind of just like messed that up with the full body one that you see, and even the baby, like the baby's ones are kind of longer, but the bigger one needed like much longer claws and nails, and I totally spaced that. Also, another thing that I spaced was the inner portion of their back legs. They have a little like dew claw or dew nail or something that hangs down, and I forgot that, so I added it in later and had to fix that. But yeah, other than that, I think it turned out pretty good. I ended up actually really, really liking this one once it's finished. I've been noticing more and more recently that I have a lot of goals in mind about things I want to do, or like things I want to achieve. And I keep just thinking like, I'll do it tomorrow. And that's been my mindset for like a really, really long time. So that's part of the reason I started actually posting videos, was that I've always thought about having a YouTube channel. But I just never ever did it, or I never thought it was good enough, or I never had like a topic, something to focus my channel around. And yeah, I just finally did it. So if you ever have like a goal or something, just give it a try. You never know what might happen. And not saying that this is going anywhere or anything, but it's like if you never start, you'll never know where it's gonna go. Also, in the background today, you were hearing the soothing sounds of a creek. Hopefully it's soothing. I'm recording next to this little creek by my work. Okay, so on to the watercolor. I decided that I wanted to base it off of another lizard, but I didn't want to just hold myself to like a North American lizard. There are plenty of absolutely gorgeous North American lizards that I could have kind of based it off of. But I thought, what if I did like a leopard gecko or something really cute like that? And I know that those are from like Iraq or whatever, or that those countries in that area. But I ended up seeing on Pinterest this beautiful little African fat-tailed gecko, and it was so cute. I absolutely love how they look, and I love the colors, the speckling and the pattern. And oftentimes the way people illustrate Allosaurus, they do this kind of banding pattern that I'm doing now. And I kind of wanted to avoid just copying that, but it ended up being like that anyways. But whatever, I still really like it. The design I went with gives the Allosaurus a white belly, which I like. And then it's supposed to have a white stripe going down the face, or at least on the little ridge cresties. And then it's supposed to go down his spine as well, because I think the African fat-tailed gecko I was looking at had like, it was like a white line pattern, or the genetic mutation. I forget what that actual morph is called, but if you know reptiles, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyways, yeah, doing the watercolor for this was actually really fun. In the past, I've just been so scared to just experiment and try and like just actually go for it. And I'm just caring less and less about messing up, because I've just messed up so much at this point that I'm like caring less and less. Yeah, it's nice. It's a relieving feeling. So I just kind of go for it. I try out different things, and thankfully watercolor is such a forgiving medium in that, you can re-wet it and dab it a little bit. You can layer it. You can do all sorts of fun stuff with it. So, and it's not really messy. And there's just something about messy art mediums that really just creep me out. I don't know if it's like a tism or something that I have, but like the feeling of like something sticky and tacky on my fingers just really icks me out. I don't like it. So even gouache, I'm having that issue with gouache, because I'm trying to kind of get back into gouache and actually learn it. But the feeling, like if I touch the edge of like a plate that has my gouache mixes on it and it gets on my fingers and it spreads everywhere, I just absolutely hate that feeling. It's the same thing with making bread. The feeling of the wet, sticky dough on my hands is just like, it's maddening. Anyways, yeah, watercolor doesn't do that. Watercolor is pretty clean. It's pretty simple, easy, very approachable. I love it. And, this one was really fun to just kind of do some different techniques. I did some wet on wet, to get more of that feathered, effect, the fading and feathering that comes more naturally from wet on wet, like the color variation. I really, really love that. This paper that I'm using, I'm pretty sure it is cold pressed. I'm trying to remember if it's, I'm pretty sure it's a cotton blend, so it's not 100% cotton, but it still is pretty decent quality. So the watercolor wasn't, it wasn't just like sitting on the paper, it was actually soaking in. and that was really nice. I could definitely tell the difference in quality. Yeah, very good. The girl's saddle, I wanted to add some more kind of white detailing on the saddle pad, but I forgot. And I don't know, and I thought maybe it would be cute if her little straps that she had on there were were green to match the Allosaurus eyes. And I also wanted to kind of remain within the same color palette for the most part, so her boots, when she's a little kid there, her boots are the same color as the Allosaurus. The dress is the same color as the girth and the little bridle and everything. And then the hat's the same color as the boots. Like, I just tried to, like, make sure that all the colors were kind of similar, so it stayed within the same palette. And, oh yeah, this is when I bring in a little bit of a iridescent paint. I have mixed feelings on how the iridescent paint turned out. I never use these, and I really just wanted to, like, give it a go. It's okay. I mean, it's supposed to be like a pearlescent white, and it almost looks more yellow. I don't know. It's all right. I think those types of watercolor do better on dark background pieces. Like, if this was on black paper or something, it would look way better. Oh, one more thing. So I'm adding a little shadow underneath because it looked kind of dumb with them just standing there and floating in space, but I would like to add more to the paper, but I just didn't want to pressure myself for that right now. So for the time being, it's complete. I might add a little clutch of eggs, little dinos. Yeah, we'll see. I might add more later. I'd probably come in like a little sketchbook tour later or something. So for the time being, it's done. Hopefully you like it. Yeah. Thanks again so much for watching. Enjoy some more nature sounds. Bye!